Matt and I are out early in the morning here this morning in the garden. It's a beautiful morning in the mountains of southern Appalachia. We've had a lot of rain, had some last night and yesterday, so there's a lot of fog that still needs to burn off. And today our main thing we want to do is we want to plant some turnips. We love to plant turnips in the fall. And we think we're going to put them where the cabbage has been, right through here. You can see we've still got some of the cabbage heads left in the ground. We pulled a lot of them up, give some to the chickens, got rid of some of them in the compost pile. But so many of you said that you had wonderful stories of your grandparents and your parents and different people leaving them, and that they wouldn't really grow another head of cabbage, but maybe little, one of you said think of Brussels sprouts, just little bitty tiny heads. So we're going to leave a few of them and just see what happens. We may not leave that many, we may pull some more of those up as we're planting the turnips. Another thing we might plant today is a little bit of kale, mustard greens. We love mustard greens, let them grow in the fall. And then we need to, something we really need to do terribly is to go around to all the tomatoes and kind of where they've sprawled out, do a little trimming and a little, mostly trying to get the ones that have fell over on the ground, especially down here, and pin them back up on the cattle panels.
This stuff here, are you leaving it? Whatever, is that ground cherry?
Yeah, you can chop it down.
You want me to tell this, you think?
Well, we got all that cleaned up. Matt's going to till up the place where we're going to put the turnips. We left probably, I don't know, maybe not hardly 10, maybe 8 or 9, maybe 7 cabbage there, and we'll see if they grow the small ones and what we think about that. Just something to try. I like to try new things. Matt does too. A lot of times we try new things and we don't like them, like thinking about new varieties, and we don't ever grow them again. But then sometimes you stumble on something that you just adore and know that, you know, for the rest of your gardening life, you'll make sure to have it in your garden. Matt's going to get the tiller out, and he's going to till up that place through there that we removed some of the cabbage and then the fabric barrier that Matt had put down. So that's where we're going to put the turnips. He's going to till it up, and then while he's doing that, I'm going to be cutting the okra. Getting to get warm, ain't it?
Yeah.
Getting hot already, even though we got out here early. So I went in and got all my turnip seeds. There's rutabaga. Matt, should we attempt it again? We've never grown them.
No.
Matt says no. So this is a white turnip. We don't really, well, I guess we grew them a few times and had okay luck with them. Mostly we grow the purple top white globe. That's what we grow. There's another rutabaga. So we'll definitely grow that one. I brought out some kohlrabi. I'm almost tempted to plant a little bit of it, but if I do that, maybe I'll do that in one of the raised beds up there. And there's more of the purple top. This was one that we've never grew before, Matt, is a golden ball. You want to try that one?
Well, how many are we going to plant in that base?
Well, these little packets ain't got much in them, so.
I'll just put that in.
Yeah, golden ball, we might try that one. Rarely grown outside of small specialized farms. Turnip roots are large, averaging 4 inches in diameter and a beautiful golden yellow color, rich in iron, vitamin K, C, and potassium. Great source of fiber. Maybe we'll try that one. More kohlrabi. And then another big pack of the purple top white globe. Those are the ones that do the best for me and Matt that we've grew, but we've really, I guess those white ones that's just solid white, we've grew those a couple of times. Seems like they stay smaller, and maybe that's good because they don't get as pithy and they're sweet, but we really love the purple tops. Helping yourself to the blueberries? Mm-hmm. It's nice to be able to do that. Matt calls them garden snacks. Mostly he's talking about or yard snacks. Which is it you call them?
Yard snacks.
Garden snacks.
Yard snacks.
Yard snacks, the Tommy Toe tomatoes, but it's nice to be able to do the blueberries too. Now that Matt's got it all tilled up nicely, it looks so nice and rich. It looks great. The garden up here, we've really worked on it over the years to get the soil better. He's going to go get some compost, just mushroom compost, and we're going to cover it with that, and I'm going to start broadcasting the seeds. I think since they're all the same variety except the golden one, so I'll just put those at one end or the other. Maybe I'll put them down there by the cabbage and start with them. Bring it all the way to the end. I mostly tried to keep them, like you can see where my feet are, and then I didn't go all the way over there, of course, to about right here on this side, kind of in between here where I sowed them. Next thing we need to do, which is sad, it's right in the sunshine now that the sun's come up, but is to get some of these tomatoes that are laying on the ground and put them back up. Then there's one tomato out there, I think it's a brandywine, it's just completely died, and we need to get the tomatoes off of it and pull the plant up and get rid of it. Most of these tomatoes are the German Johnson that we had to pull up, all those that are green. Those in the very bottom is one Cherokee Purple that we had down here. This one you can see has got some bird damage on it, but I'm about to can tomatoes, so I'm just going to take it in and I'll just cut that part out and cut that bottom part out. And that was on the black creme plant, but it doesn't look like what I thought those were supposed to look like. We've got most of them attached back with the little plastic things we use raised up. Done a little bit of trimming. This is a brandywine tomato, and they're loaded with tomatoes, the ones we planted, but we've not ate one of them yet. Or have we, Matt? No, it was German Johnson, wasn't it? I'm getting all mixed up. But no, we've not had a brandywine yet. This is the Cherokee Purple plant. This is the other German Johnson plant. It's got one tomato on it, and we ate one tomato off of it. It's not done that good, you can see. We've got two hillbillies over here on the end. Again, they've not done that great for us. But then you wonder, is it the dry weather, or is it just a tomato that's not going to do good for us? I'm just not sure if we'll try it again or not. It's one of those with the like different sort of leaves. Matt said we've also got two hillbillies working in the garden. I guess that's me and him. So these are the black creme plants over here. Some of them look pretty good, and they've got tomatoes on them. There's some down there that looks like they're trying to get ripe, but they still, I guess I was expecting them to look more like a Cherokee Purple. These big old tomatoes are the Randy Hooper, I'm calling, that we got from Debbie, and we've ate one of those and we both really liked it. More of the Randy Hoopers over here. Then on the very end, we have some of the little yard snacks, Matt's calling them, the little Tommy Toes down there. This is the variety from David and Carolyn, our friends, that we really like. We're going to put the mustard seeds up here in one of the raised beds on the bank. This is the one that we had the garlic in. We turned over the soil. Matt's added some compost to the top. And I think we're ready to sow, and then we'll just cover it with a little bit more compost. This is the row that I've tried to plant all summer long. Nothing won't grow in it. It's because it was too hot and too dry. Started off with radishes early in the spring, and they did fine. They just didn't make anything. The tops looked beautiful, but no radishes. Then I tried flowers twice. I even bought flowers and put in them the last time, and that still didn't do anything. So why not try one more time, I'm thinking. So Matt's put me a little bit of compost out. I'm going to put some kohlrabi in there, and then let him cover it with compost, and we'll see if it does anything. Okay, major change of plans. Matt, the voice of reason. I'm so glad he's always here to reason me out of my desire to plant all this stuff. He said, you know what you ought to plant right here, something that we eat a lot of. So I'm going to put kale here. I do want to try the kohlrabi, but maybe I'll put it, just make me a little, scratch out a little patch down here somewhere and put 2 or 3 seeds. But I'm going to put kale here instead of kohlrabi. Come down here in the back of the compost pile. There's some comfrey growing back there that we have, and dug out a little place and planted a few kohlrabi, the white and the purple, just for fun, just to see if they do anything. Kohlrabi is sort of like cabbage as far as the taste, and it is more cold hardy. It doesn't mind a little bit of cold. So maybe I'll have kohlrabi and maybe I won't, but we'll just have to wait and see. I'm trying to be like you today.
That's a smart thing to do.
Olive, I think, knows we're here. She's barking. She's down the hill, but she probably knows we're in the woods.
Yeah, she can hear us.
She should recognize that it's us.
Well, she's not the smartest thing in the world.
No, she's not. We come out into the woods because it's so hot. It's amazing how much cooler it is. Just, I mean, you know, we're just beyond the chicken coop there. We're not far, but it's just amazing how much cooler.
Yeah, you can literally feel a marked difference just as soon as you step in here. Can't you?
You can. Matt said he needed to build something out here so we could come out here and sit. I said, that'd be nice.
Add that to the list.
Yeah, Matt's never ending list.
Yeah, my list just gets bigger because I don't ever get much of it done is the problem.
There's not enough hours in the day.
We got big ideas.
We do. We don't always get them done, but we do sometimes, and then it's great. Dreaming, though, is part of the fun. Actually thinking the possibilities and what could be, and that's like me wanting to do the kohlrabi, and then Matt's like, you know, you need to plant, we should plant something there that we actually are going to eat all winter, like kale. I'm like, you're right, we should. But I planted my kohlrabi down there in the compost pile, and maybe it'll grow, we'll see. Never hurts to try.
Nope.
I am really glad that we got the turnips planted, and the mustard, and the kale, and the kohlrabi. Usually, we always try to do something in the fall, but typically, because of Matt working full-time, and especially when I worked full-time, it just, time gets away from you, and we just always didn't get it done. And then a lot of times we do it too late. Like, it germinates and grows, it just doesn't thrive. So hopefully this year we've hit it at that sweet spot where they'll germinate and grow and get a really good holt, as we would say, and then be able to make it through the winter, just kind of still growing more slowly. And all those things we planted can stand. They can stand a little frost, and it won't hurt them. Actually make them sweeter, makes them taste better.
Yep.
So I'm really tickled about that. Last year we tried to get, because Matt had done left work, we did get a jump, but I just wasn't thinking, and I planted them all in the wrong place. I planted almost all of our winter stuff back here in the back of the house, and the sun just never hits there. It don't hit there much in the summer. I mean, it does, but not all day. But in the winter, there's places in our yard that stay shadowed all day long.
Yeah.
So that was just the totally wrong place. They did germinate, but talk about slow. Wasn't just slow, they barely grew, barely did anything. Matt loves mustard greens though, so that'll be good. I like them too. And we like turnip greens too. So Matt's mama said that he would eat greens when he was just a little baby.
Mm-hmm.
He liked them even then. I was way too picky to eat greens when I was growing up.
I love greens. Almost all of them. We should eat them more than we do.
Yeah.
Or I should eat them more than I do.
They're good for you.
Yeah.
They are.
Do you know what today is?
What is today? I do know what today is, but what is it for you?
Today is 1 year ago. Today was my last day of work.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It was August 1st.
So how does it feel?
Oh,
Went by in a flash?
Yeah, funny. Yeah, it did. But yeah, it's fantastic. I don't miss it any. I miss the guys I worked with. But
Oh yeah, I miss the people I worked with too, but now that I look back, I think, how did I work? How did I work and do a garden and
we
do the
still
blind
can't get it
pig
done.
and do all that? How did I work and do that? So, yeah. One of my friends, one time he retired, and after that, like at his little retirement party, he said, I don't know how because it was, a few months later, said, I don't know how I ever had time to work for 30 years. Because he was so busy doing stuff. So we kind of feel like that, which we're not retired. We are still working with just getting to celebrate Appalachia full time, which is such a blessing, and we're so thankful, and couldn't do it without you. But that's nice. I didn't realize this was Matt's anniversary here today.
Right. We should celebrate. And what I mean by that is you could make me a pie.
Make you a pie or something? Make you something good?
No, you don't have to do none of that. I don't care.
I could be thinking about it. What could I make you?
No, I don't know. You don't have to make nothing, but if you do, something simple and easy.
Simple and easy is good.
Mm-hmm. We could just whip out the ice cream maker and make a pile of ice cream. That'd be good enough.
Good. Speaking of that, I even told Matt because my nephew's wife texted me last night and then I forgot about it, but Ben's got peaches. Ben and Rachel, and we can get peaches. We made some peach ice cream with the peaches they gave us last year.
Gosh, yeah, boiling peaches was good too.
They were so good. So we need to go do that.
Yeah.
Go get them. It's hard to believe this is just that August is here. Hard to believe a year's went by since Matt left work, but hard to believe the summer's winding down.
Yeah, the growing part of it anyway.
And it's strange though. Excuse me. Strange because of our weather this year. It was so dry so early on, and like our gardens right now, this looks like June.
Yeah, it does.
It looks like June, not August, but it's because all that we had such drought weather, and then now we've been getting rain pretty much about every other day, if not every day.
Right.
And things have just really just bloomed out, and I mean come back to life. Everything looks real vigorous, where usually by this time everything's beginning to look brown, and so it's been an interesting gardening year. Now I don't know if all this new growth lushness will equal out any greater harvest or anything, because those days will start dwindling down. I always think of it like going back the other way. We're going back the other way now as far as every day, getting closer to the fall of the year and the weather changing. And
I wonder now that once it does start dying back, if it'll just go real fast and be gone.
It might.
You know.
Yeah, it might not be a gradual thing like it usually is. It might. It's been a different growing season, and definitely not been our best gardening year ever because of that drought. The beans especially. We've done 1 cannon of beans. Now we've eat fresh beans, but as far as cannon, we've done 1 cannon. That's like unheard of for us.
Yeah.
So we're hopeful though, those that we replanted when we tore those out, some of them are beginning to run. So I think in another week they'll have reached the cattle panel. Now whether or not they produce a lot between now and fall weather, I don't know. But maybe they will. Maybe we'll get some. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
This time of the year, people with kids, or when you were a kid, you started thinking about going back to school. I know somebody else, Paul, that retired at Christmas. I guess that's a worry he's not had to think about. Now, as a principal, he worked all year anyway. He didn't get his summers off. He had to work during the summer too. But of course, it was you did have to do stuff to prepare for students coming back to school. So, but he's not had to worry about that this year.
I bet he likes that.
Oh, I'm sure he does. Yeah, sure he does. Not worrying about how to make it all work and be in charge and make sure it all happens and all that.
You usually have to try to make it all work with not enough stuff to do it with.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
how that goes.
Yeah. No, he don't miss driving the school bus.
Yeah.
No, he don't miss that. Summer days like this, though, it is so hot, and it makes me think back to when we were kids. How did we ever play outside all day? But when you're kids, you don't even notice the heat. Of course, we played in the woods a lot, too, though.
I mean, you can feel this now. It's crazy, the difference
Yeah.
between here just and 30 yards over.
But I don't know what some of my favorite things to do in the summer. Of course, I was always begging to go swimming, always. And we had a pond here in the holler, so there was always readily a place to swim, but Granny wouldn't let us go unless there was an adult to watch, So I always liked to do that. Loved to play outside. I had several little playhouses, and I'd make mud pies and decorate them with my little flowers or leaves or whatever, and make a little, out of twigs or branches, make like a little, where I had my couch with moss, put moss all over it, and, all my little things in my house. Of course, I loved baby dolls, so I played with dolls a lot.
How old was you, 17, 18?
Yeah. I still like dolls.
You do?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any, but I like them. I think I've always been enamored with baby dolls. Corey and Katie could care less. I wanted them to be like me and like dolls. They never did, never. There was
Remember
never
the big
a doll
one down
that
at Granny's that freaked them out
Yeah,
that we went and got?
Granny found a,
Golly, it's
it's
funny.
like kind of like a Barbie, but a giant one. It
as
wasn't
big
really
as they was.
Barbie, but it was a big doll, giant doll. But she only found, usually when she found something like that, she'd buy 3. So one for Corey, one for Katie, and one for my niece April. Or if it was boy stuff, you know, she'd buy 2 for Ben and Mark. But the doll, she couldn't find but one of them. I mean, it was like 3 foot tall, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was that big.
And it would stand up. Anyway, so she made them leave it at her house, and they could play with it out there. Well, it was about as big as they were, and so they would play like it was their friend or sister or whatever. So then they started, all 3 of them started begging her, could they bring it home and let it like spend the night with them and then go back. It turned into this whole thing. Anyway, so Matt quickly, he done something to Corey and Katie. They never wanted to bring it back home with them again.
Yeah, they had it in the room, and I'd start aggravating them about it being alive, and I'd catch them. They'd be sitting in a corner or sitting on the bed or something, and they'd be busy playing, and I'd catch them with their head turned, and I'd just ease up and turn its head a different direction. And then they'd see that, and then they'd scare them to death. And then they'd run out, and then they'd come back, and I'd position it in a different place and turn its head another way.
It's so funny.
Boy, it's fun.
Yeah, they quickly wanted that doll to go back to Granny's, and they didn't ever want to play with it again. They got so scared of it. And I told them, I said, oh my Lord, that's your daddy doing that. But then it was too late. They wouldn't believe me. There was just that fear that it was watching them. It was
And
funny.
it had eyes didn't its eyes,
like,
those blinking eye things that they had?
Like that would open and close.
So they were kind of realistic looking.
Yeah, for a little kid, yeah.
So yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. I don't know whatever happened to that doll. It's probably still at Granny's, buried under some pile of stuff she's got somewhere in a corner.
Yeah.
Because she hardly ever gets rid of anything. But yeah, they wouldn't play with dolls though. I wanted them to, and they didn't. They liked stuffed animals, but they never cared about dolls. I had all my dolls, and I had them named, and set them up. I knew all their names, knew everything about them, and I always asked for a doll for Christmas. That was what I wanted for Christmas, was like the new Baby Come Back, or there's one that was like a ballerina. I even got Corey and Katie those, I can't think of the name of them now, but you probably know. They're like realistic, and you can feed them, and they even, have to change their diaper and all that. And I remember me and Matt didn't have much money, but I saved up, and then I found like, old ones that had never been opened on eBay that was cheaper. And I got those, and I thought, well, they'll really love it because you can actually feed it and change its diaper. No, they didn't care nothing about it.
They call baby borns?
Yeah, baby born, something like that maybe. I don't know. Anyway, they never liked them. They liked stuffed animals. They had bears and snakes and alligators, an alligator and a duck. Remember the duck? Mm-hmm. They liked stuff like that, but they never cared about baby dolls like I did. I really loved my dolls. Me and Paul outside thinking about the summer, we had a swing set and we'd play on it a lot. And my brother Steve, he's 5 years older than me, so when I was little, he played with me and took me around, but by the time Paul was big enough to play, Steve was, interested in other things. So me and Paul played a lot together, and we had this game we made up. We'd do these, there was some kind of cartoon, I can't remember what it was, but it was like kind of like, think about like the Olympics or something between cartoon characters. And there was, of course, a good team that was all good, and then the team that tried to cheat and mess each other up. Do you remember that? Something.
Vaguely.
That's probably where we got the idea. But so we would pretend that we each had all these teams made up of different imaginary people, of course, and then we would compete about stuff, mostly on the swing set or running or stuff. Pap always loved baseball, and Steve and Paul, were crazy about baseball, so a lot of times the people on our teams was a mixture of maybe, Bo or Luke Duke, somebody like that, but also baseball players, like Nolan Ryan or Ron Say or somebody like that. What was his name? Pete Rose. People like that, we'd pretend like they were on our teams.
Reggie Jackson.
Yeah, Reggie Jackson. All those of that era, kind of. We would pretend like they were on our team, make up our team, and like tell who was on it, and then we would compete. That was a lot of fun. Of course, we run and played hide and seek and tag, and with all the cousins in the holler, and freeze tag, and played hide and seek a lot. Older people call it whoopie hide. Whoopie hide.
don't believe I ever heard that.
We play it. We played that a lot here in the holler, down at Mama and Papa's house. And even after they were gone, when Henry lived there, Henry's family, before they built their house, we played. That would be our home base. And we'd play around. Lots of yelling and screaming and laughing and hysteria, of course.
I had a cousin that was at my grandma's house a lot. I don't know if she, no, I think she stayed there some, and they watched her during the day while her mom and daddy worked. And every time we would go up there, she would beg Daddy or me she always wanted to play hide and seek. And Daddy would always tell her to go hide and don't move, and I'll come find you. Well, he never would go look.
Oh, gosh.
And of course, I'd forget about it, and we'd just leave, and she still hid in there, and we'd been gone for.
Oh, gosh.
He did that many times. He'd tell her, "Now you go hide, and I'll come look for you." And he never did go look for her.
That's where you got your mischievous, like making the doll be alive.
I don't know, I guess.
And the Wilsons did stuff like that too, though, all the time. They did. Corey and Katie, they would want to play hide and seek a lot of times in the house, and you know, when they're that age, when they're at a certain age, they hide in the same places all the time, and you just, you know. But I would hunt them and find them. They'd always be behind a door or like in the hamper or something like that. And one time I told them, "You've got to hide somewhere different. Hide somewhere different. Try to use your imagination. Hide somewhere different." And we had like a rug in the foyer at that time, and I went down the hallway going looking at all the regular places, and then I seen like a hump under the Corey had got under the rug.
Yeah.
There was a big hump over it. It was so funny. Well, they loved to play hide and seek though. I was always tried to be, when we played it with everybody in the holler, I would try to like think of how strategic and how I could just evade them and get back to base before they would see me, you know. So I'd come up with these elaborate ways of going up in the woods and then coming back out when, you know, being in a different position and watching to see if anybody was there and then running to base. Sometimes it worked. It didn't always work though. I guess you just acted like a wild heathen in the summer. You probably left at daybreak and didn't come back till dark.
Yeah, pretty much. I'd come back in and hunt something to eat, get a peanut butter sandwich or something, or I'd go to my buddy's house and we'd eat peanut butter sandwiches at his house, but we stayed outside till somebody had to make us come in, usually.
Didn't you have like a little place where you'd build or something, like a little camp or something?
Yeah, I made a lean-to type of thing out of some just logs and stuff in the woods, and Daddy had a big piece of what they call mill felt that come out of the paper mill out there where I grew up, and I stretched out over it and put limbs and sticks and leaves and stuff over it, and I'd go down there and spend the night a whole lot in the summertime when it, you know, before it got real cold. Build a fire and cook on it, or what passed for cooking at that time. I'm sure it wasn't much good.
Right.
But I'd go there and stay by myself and spend the night. I enjoyed that. That's a little weird for most kids don't do that.
No.
But I did.
You need to build you a little place out here like that so you and the grandsons can spend the night outside.
Yeah.
Or somewhere. Here on the side of the goat bluff where we're sitting.
Yeah.
Maybe you could build a little platform or something.
I actually thought about going out the hill here or something, building a little cabin if I could figure out how to get the stuff out there.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool.
That would be nice.
Just to take them, and then when they got, 6, 8 years old, they'd have them a clubhouse or something, kind of use it for that.
I have a friend, her husband built a place like that, and you think, well, it's kind of silly, but it's not. They talk about it all the time, and they just enjoy it so much. And they build it like, maybe their house is right here, and then there's a road, and then off down it, kind of off from the road, goes down in there, and there's a creek, and so it's not far at all. It's still on their property and all that. And it doesn't have electricity or anything, but he just, over time, and he didn't want to spend, go in debt, spending money, so he just kind of like would look for stuff if somebody was taking down a barn or something like that. It's just a tiny, too, it's not big. Anyway, but he like sourced all of the, like, really cheaply, the windows and the stuff and the, you know, frame and everything that he used. But he built it, and they go down there and they'll spend the night in it. Yeah, just them spend the night and then go back home. You know, just get up, you ain't got far to go. And said it's real peaceful, just a place to get away and go relax. And there's a creek, so they've got that little creek there, and pretty nice.
Yeah.
I guess that's the way to have kind of the best of both worlds. You get to go back home and take your hot bath and go to the bathroom and all that, but then you've got a little place to escape to, and you know, no electricity, so no electronics and stuff unless you take them with you.
Right.
You could rig up a lantern for light and stuff.
Could get some of those camper propane lights and install them in it, and then just put like a 100-pound tank outside it, and you'd always have a light there. Put a little gas stove in it or
like
something.
Like a water tank, the same thing. Like, or not a tank, but those that you can carry, you know, and have water. Because you wouldn't be staying for days. You wouldn't need a lot of water. You could go down the creek and get water and boil it for anything you needed like that.
Better not build that all. I may move into it.
You'd come back. You'd miss my cooking.
Oh, that's true. That is fact.
Eating beanie weenies to get old.
Well, I can cook a little too, you know,
You
but
are.
I can't cook like you do.
Matt, oh, you can. Matt made the most delicious supper last night. If you've watched all of our videos, you know earlier this week I showed, I was doing a garden tour, and Matt got some of the corn and showed that it was ready. It's so wonderful to have corn. It's delicious. So that was you could say that was kind of the star of last night's meal, but then Matt had tenderloin from the deer, you know, that we put in the freezer. So we had tenderloin, and we had new taters, and Matt made biscuits. He made, just put it all in one big biscuit pone, put it all together. And we had tomatoes, fresh tomatoes. Oh my goodness. It was so good. I was, what do you call it, part of the clean plate club. I'd cleaned 2 plates of that.
Yeah.
It was really, really good. So tasty. So we've really been enjoying the corn, and you know, I kind of said this in the gardening video. This garden by far has not been our best garden year ever. Definitely not the corn, but even up here because of the weather. But still so enjoyable to be able to get stuff out of it, like the potatoes and the tomatoes and the corn.
Yeah, and the stuff we've got out of it to eat almost seems like it tastes better. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just so good.
Might
it's
be because we know it's fleeting, like it's not,
Yeah.
you know, there's not that much. I don't know. We have put up a few things. We've made the one run of green beans. I made blackberry jelly one run. Got lots of grape juice. Those have done good this year. Put some blueberries in the freezer. Made beets. Made pickles. Made kraut. So has done some of it. Just not as much as usual.
Right.
So I guess you're about ready for a tomato sandwich, though, ain't you?
I'm hungry.
Come unfed.
Yeah.
We was really working out there, and that sun makes everything you do harder.
And,
Matt said we're supposed to be under a heat warning or something for the next few days.
yeah. Yesterday and today and tomorrow, and then I looked on further, and then the temperatures are about the same. It's just going to be hot for days and days.
Yeah. We've been getting the thunderstorms, though, or the showers, thunderstorms mostly, so we have still been getting the rain, which is we're very thankful for. I know some people still don't have any rain. I wish I could send you some. And then some people have way too much rain. I think it was this morning, I saw pictures of earlier in the week or last week where Dollywood had flooded. That looked like a nightmare. I hope everyone was okay. That was terrible.
It's flooded 2 or 3 times lately, ain't it?
I don't know. This was the first I just happened to see something, and it was just like a river going through Dollywood. So I wish we could share what we have and even it all out, but of course that ain't how it works.
No.
We're always grateful when you stop by to help us celebrate Appalachia.
Hear the rare kick, I only barely can hear it. That's the difference between the new stuff and what we've got.
Yeah, and it's loud.
You see that? You just barely hear that hum.
Yeah, I hear that.
That's it. You can hear ours in the bed at night, which I don't
hear
care.
ours probably 3 or 4 houses away.
Yeah. We got the good out of it, though.
Are these little locust trees right there?
They might be. I ain't sure what they are. I
think they
can
are.
app them and see.
I think that's what they are. Strange, they all come up right there together.
Mm-hmm.
I don't guess too strange since that one's right over there, but yeah, it's so much cooler out here. You want to stay out here the rest of the day?
If you want to.
If it wasn't so steep, we'd bring our chairs and sit out here.
Yeah, it's a little.
We have to sit in the trail, like either face each other or one behind each other, like in school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Make you feel like you're in school passing notes or pulling somebody's hair in front of you. Or
You didn't do none of that, did you?
Mm-mm.
I didn't either.
We had those wooden desks back then.
Yeah, we did
Not
too.
like the ones they have now.
They couldn't get me to do my schoolwork. They had just forced me to put down my Bible to do my schoolwork.
I don't believe that. We should have been.
Yeah.
You've
no,
been better off if it was,
Yeah,
but I don't
yeah.
believe it.
No, I was a little mischievous and mean. As hard as that may be to believe.
Yeah. I live with you. So.
I'm the model citizen now.
Mm-hmm. Most of the time. I'm hungry too. You gonna eat a tomato sandwich?
I guess so, yeah. Might as well. I mean, we've got plenty of them sitting there. Might as well
I
eat them
need
and
to go
enjoy
in
them
there
while I can.
and can those that are in there, because there's more right back here, more Cherokee purple. Figure out what I'm gonna cook for supper.
I guess if we're gonna have corn again, I'll have to go get some in a little while.
Yeah. Corey and Austin's gonna eat with us. Might just have corn and a BLT. It'd be easy.
Okay. Sounds fantastic to me.
Man, it's peaceful out here.
Yeah.
It's crazy that
See why I like it so much?
I know, but it's just crazy that our house is just right there, but it's just so much more removed and peaceful out here somehow.
Mm-hmm. It's cooler and air moves a little better.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the air's not so stinging hot, you know.
I think it comes from too, if you, like we were talking about in the summer, we stayed outside so much. I mean, we played outside year round, but it's just like if you're used to that, then you feel comfortable in the outdoors, you know. There's like a comfort in it.
That was but that was also back before any of us ever had any air conditioning too. Now that
Well,
we've
that's
had
true,
it,
yeah.
we got something to compare it to.
Yeah.
It never really bothered me back then.
Oh no.
Not that I remember.
I mean, I got hot and we had fans around, but I wasn't just miserable like I would be now. I wouldn't just sit and complain about it.
I had the house I grew up in, the way the bed sat in the corner, there was a window kind of at the foot of the bed and another window behind me at the head of the bed, but kind of not directly behind the bed, but the window at the foot of the bed. I kept it up and I'd take the screen out of it and kind of scrooch down the bed, and I'd leave my one foot out the window of the night just to get that cooler air because it just felt so good.
Yeah. Yeah, we'd open all the windows. We're so spoiled now, though.
Yeah.
Those big fans going, usually one in the living room, one in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Somebody always screaming, "Don't get close to it, it'll cut your fingers off." We'd scream
That
in
was
it and
them-
do the ah.
That was them old metal bladed fans too, and they would hurt you.
They're probably still down at Granny's, probably in the basement.
But they'd move some air.
Oh, they did, yeah.
I remember them. I got my fingers in one of them one time at my grandma's, and yeah, good night. Them things hurt.
Yeah.
Now they got the little plastic ones that won't move no air, but they won't hurt you.
That's true. Boy, I'm dirty. Look at this. Dirt in my elbows.
Like a youngin'.
Yeah. See if my feet's rusty or my ears. You used to have to do that. Get your rusty ankles washed. ready.
Yeah.